Well, thank you guys so much for hopping on this call. Again, my name is Adam Peterson. I am the trainer for DCI. We do these calls every single Monday with different topics. We're focusing again on BYOD because of the fact that it is such a key metric for Boost. It's their number one priority by far. We've seen increasing results, but we're not quite to the goal we need to be, which is 10%. So we want to go over everything with you guys, see if there's any questions out there. Want to make sure you guys are increasing your results and getting the traction you need. I'm not going into comp on this call, but as you guys know, there is great incentives for BYOD, whether it be on the TN network or the SN network. There are great incentives there. So it's a way for you guys to make more money, and the company's number one priority. So we want to make sure we are focusing big time on BYOD. So the key priorities for Boost, there's three of them right now, right? Number one, by far, is BYOD. If you think about these, for those of you on the phone, in terms of a pyramid flipped upside down. So the base of the pyramid, or the largest part of their goals, would be the BYOD. We want to make sure you guys are using the compatibility checker, you're checking the APN settings, and for every port in, you're pitching a BYOD opportunity if that customer is eligible. The next priority for Boost is your add-a-lines. So this is really good if on the $50 or $60 plan, the add-a-lines are huge. And then if we want to tie it into BYOD, if you think about it, for a customer upgrading in your door, say it's a one-line deal, whatever the case may be, 2 lines, 3 lines. On the one-line deal, that customer upgrades. What do you want to do? The customer upgrades to get a new phone. What you want to do is have that conversation with the customer. Hey, what are you going to do with that old phone? Do you know you could do an add-a-line and get that for $30 or $40? So obviously you want to pitch high, right, for the add-a-line. If they say, no, that's okay, you still have that pitch there. You could do an add-a-line for as low as $10 per month and have that as a home phone or an emergency phone. But you could use that old phone for only $10, have an extra line of service. Again, obviously I'm going to start high on the $30 or $40 add-a-line, but I can come down to that to make sure that I'm getting the most out of every interaction with that customer, even if they just want to leave it in a drawer as an emergency purpose phone. For $10, that's a pretty good value. And then the third priority for Boost, after BYOD, after add-a-line, is their tier 1 devices. So of course that's their $50 and $60 plans, and the $30 and $40 add-a-lines are considered tier 1 plans. So it's important for you guys to remember that $30 add-a-line on a $50 plan or a $40 add-a-line on a $60 plan is considered a tier 1 plan. All right, so let's jump into the BYOD section. So what kind of devices qualify? Well, anything that's a factory unlocked device will qualify. As far as the postpaid side, the devices have to have met their financial commitment. So if there's money still owed on the device, when you use the device management tool to check if it's eligible, you're going to get a no on that, right? Give me 1 second. I just heard a couple people hopping in. I want to make sure they're accepted into the call. And Robert, are you able to get these guys in if they hop in?
Yes, I'm working on that, Adam. I got this.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're talking about what devices qualify. So again, anything factory unlocked, all your top 10 iPhones are going to qualify, and any postpaid devices that have to have met their full financial commitment will qualify as well. Sprint devices switching over to Boost do now qualify. Those are BYOD opportunities. So that changed just a few months ago, but that's big for us. Before, those were to the same company, but that's no longer the case. Those will qualify as a BYOD opportunity, provided they have completed all their monthly payments. If not, let's say they owe $200 left on their phone. If they had a really high-end device, they have to pay that off first, and then that phone would become eligible. Previously activated Boost devices, depending on the device, which we just had a lot more added October 1st, which we'll get to shortly, are now eligible for BYOD as well. The list changes all the time. So you guys, every month I would say go in and check on the sales portal. If you go to home under quick links, go to BYOD, and you can see that list of eligible devices. So now, when should you guys be talking BYOD to your customers? The main goal here and a behavior that we have control of. So the buying behavior of your customer, we don't have full control of. What we do have control of is what you guys do in your stores. So every BYOD customer or every port-in customer should be looked at as a BYOD opportunity. You should be checking if that device is eligible or not. And again, we'll get into that shortly, but the kind of the quick sneak peek on that is if a customer is coming into your door and they're looking to do a port-in, ask them to see their device so you can check all the offers they're eligible for, and that's when you can go to the tool and check and see, is the BYOD conversation something you should have with them? It's a very easy way to add a line. As I just broke down for you, if a customer does an upgrade, they can use their old phone for an add line opportunity. And you want to make sure you're asking your customers when they come in, do they like their current device? If they like their current phone they were on, then that's a great opportunity to keep them on that and get them to a new plan with their existing device. For existing customers, again, we talked about upgrades, easy add-a-line opportunity. And for your bill pay customers, this is a great opportunity out there that I don't think we're taking advantage of as much. So if a customer comes in to pay your bill, you should be pitching to them not only an upgrade if they're eligible, but if you get that phone in your hand, you can check and see if it's a BYOD eligible, so you could upgrade them and then use that phone as an add-a-line. So you want to make sure you're asking that customer about all their available devices. All right, and if there's any questions in the chat, please stop me and we can ask those questions as we go. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the WIFM. For those of you who have not heard that term before, the WIFM stands for What's in It for Me. Our benefits for all of you on this call on the front line, and there are benefits for your customers as well. So for you guys on this call, this is a brand new customer segment to Boost. Over the past, and we had it for about 2 months now, right? So still new to me, still brand new. That's why we're getting our results up. But for the past 19 years, Boost was a carrier who couldn't do BYOD. Well, not anymore. It's a huge area for us. If you look at our competition, Metro, they do about 20% plus of all their activations on BYOD every year. That's millions of sales that we are just now getting our toes into that pool and playing in that same sandbox. So we need to get to that 20% goal. So right now your goal is 10%, but it will go up. So you got to keep driving these numbers. We're going to keep driving these conversations, keep driving this training until we get to that 20% goal. We have to improve our add-a-line sales as well. So for you guys, if a customer comes in, it's a great opportunity. You can sell them a new phone. They're looking to port in. That's great. Even if they don't want to do the BYOD with their phone, you can do their port in on whatever device they like, then use that old phone as a BYOD for line 2 as a new add-a-line. So that's big for the frontline employees. It's also going to help you guys on your accessory sales. So when a customer is going to come in, they want to do a BYOD, freshen up their phone, give them a new case, new charger, new accessories. So a huge opportunity, and again, there is some comp incentives on there that we won't get into, but it's a money maker for you guys. And for the front line, this is an awesome opportunity. Now, what's in it for me or the WIFM for your customers? Number one, no complicated phone setup. The phone already has been customized exactly how they want it. They don't have to search for their apps. They don't have to wait for any downloads. They don't have to log back in. Try to remember what their password is. I can't tell you how many times I've seen it in stores where, oh, I don't know my email. I don't know my password. Well, this will get around all of that. You don't have to wait to transfer any information in. Makes it quick and easy for you and for your customers. So you can tell your customer, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, this is great. All your favorite apps that you had in your phone will still be in there. We'll get you set up on our new great price plans, and all your emails, everything is already synced with that device. It also is going to protect our investment. A lot of phones now are getting to be more and more expensive. So if a customer paid a lot of money on their phone, especially if it's an iPhone or a high-end Galaxy, let them keep it. Keep that high-end iPhone, keep that high-end Galaxy. We'll save you tons of money on your rate plan every month. And again, I've preached it over and over, easy way to add a line. Even if that customer buys a new device, they can repurpose their previous device to a friend or family member And the more lines added, the more money saved. All right, any questions on the what's in it for me section before I move ahead? All right, so two big things I want you guys to make sure you're doing. The BYOD compatibility check tool, that should be used for 100% of your port-ins. If you want to hit 10% BYOD sales, you need to use this tool 100% of the time. Now the goal is 75%, and I'll take that because some customers, you know, they're going to automatically know they don't want to look for that. But 75 is attainable. For my doors personally, for all my doors, I cover South Chicago, Central Illinois, and St. Louis market. For all my doors, I'm averaging 75% on this compatibility check tool usage. And other of our account managers with DCI are even higher than that. So it is doable. If your store is not hitting 75% of compatibility checks for your port-in opportunities, this is a very easy fundamental change. If a customer is coming into your door and looking to do a port-in, ask them to see their device so you can check the offers they're eligible for, and then check the phone in that tool. All right. So it should be used 100% of the time. There is some slack there to get you to that goal of 75, so you don't have to be perfect. But honestly, if it was my door, I'm going to train my reps is every time you have a port-in, use the tool. All right. It's more profitable for everybody and a quicker, easier sale as well. So now, why is this so important? Why am I so big on, hey, you should use it 100% of the time? You know, think of this as a baseball analogy. With the World Series getting ready to start here between the Rays and the Dodgers, who just won last night, we can use a great baseball analogy. So think of it as stepping up to the plate and swinging the bat, right? In baseball, every at-bat's an opportunity to get a hit and help your team score. Same thing for Boost. The BYOD checks are our at-bats with every single port-in. The customers that are porting over have a device that they own today. Yes, I get some of them will have been lost and stolen and maybe damaged, and that's why they're porting over. So that's why, even though we say 100, our goal is 75. I get it. But if you intend to score, you need to swing the bat at these customers by plugging their ESN into the device compatibility check tool for every single port-in. So same analogy, right? You want to swing the bat at every port-in opportunity you have by using the device compatibility check tool. So getting a hit turns bat swings into runs, just like baseball. In baseball, a player's batting average defines their ability to be a contributor to their team and help them score runs. In order to score these runs, you have to swing the bat and get hits. Boost has much of the same. There's a correlation in device compatibility checks run and BYOD sales closed. So every time a customer comes in, you're using that tool. Now it's in your head to lead this as a point of conversation, and you will help drive that number up. We've seen dealers who were at 75% BYOD checks get 7%, 8%, 9%, now 10%, you know? So it's the more swings the bat, the more hits you're gonna get. If you don't swing, you're not gonna get a hit. And I get there are some other ways out there to check if a device is eligible. Forget those. Use what is being measured by Boost, what Dish leadership is looking at, which they are looking at daily. Your Boost reps are getting numbers daily on how your store is doing using that tool. So if you're not using it, we have new leadership with Dish. If you're not using it, they're going to look at it as this dealer is not following instructions. They're not getting on board with the directives that the field is pushing out to them. Now, most of you guys, if you're BRs or PBRs, you have Elevate. So continuing these baseball analogies, want to make sure you're managing your lineup or watching your player stats. So in order to win the game and move the needle across BYOD, you have to keep all your employees engaged with their stats. If you're using Elevate and you're using it for your sales, you'll be able to see which reps are closing BYOD and which reps are not. If you're a door that is simply making payments in there because you feel the system's frustrating, I plead with you to change your ways because there are a lot of benefits by doing business the right way. You're going to be able to find out who's helping you, who's hurting you, and provide coaching for those opportunities where if you have one rep at 20% BYOD, one rep at 0%, you know, there's a great way to share what is one rep doing, what's one rep not doing, and figure out how to close that gap. Okay, now one big key thing here, I want to put a star by this, right? Make sure you're getting credit for your sale by choosing BYOD in the contract type in Elevate. Otherwise, the reporting will not reflect that BYOD sale. First-hand experience, Friday, I was at a PBR door in Chicago. I was going over their BYOD stats, and I said, hey, man, what's going on? You're at 0%. He said, Adam, there's no way. He's like, I write everything down in my journal. I've had these BYOD sales. I can show you it right. So I said, okay, let's get to the root of it. What did you do to activate it? Walk me through the process. So they had Elevate. They were just clicking on new activation and then going through the regular steps. There's in Elevate, you'll see new activation, upgrade, or BYOD. You must choose BYOD contract type in Elevate to get credit. So that's been fixed now for that dealer, but a great point of learning that I want to make sure we are all aware of, especially if you think your numbers are off. You have to choose that contract type. Yes, you could click on new and you could do the port in and use all the tools, but for the reporting and boost, you have to check that BYOD contract type in Elevate to get credit. So let me pause there. Are there any questions before I move forward? And if you're muted, you might hit *6 to unmute your phone. Give it a couple more seconds. No questions? All right, let's move forward. So the BYOD check tool that we were just talking about, the whole purpose of that tool is to verify if device is eligible SKU to switch to boost. Again, you want to check this every time you have a port in customer, 100% of the time. And the reason why that tool is so important, like I just said, with Dish looking at what our dealer is doing right now, it's going to show your store's effort, and your efforts will be rewarded by success. Just like that batting average example we just gave, the more swings at the bat, the more hits. The more effort you put into it, the more success on BYOD your store is going to get. So you can show your math. If you did 100 checks, you did 75 BYO compatibility checks, you're probably going to have easily 10% of BYOD sales from that tool. Now, what happens from the list? What happens from the data that Boost and Dish gather from that tool? Well, every check you do is used to pinpoint new devices that Dish Boost is looking to add to the BYO list. So it's really important you guys are doing that because new phones are always being added. They see there's some SKU that's getting checked a lot that's not eligible. Hey, ding, 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 that's a red flag to Boost that we got to add this device to our BYOD list, and then they will make that happen on the back end. After you make sure that device is eligible, you need to make sure you do your SIM unlock test. This has been the #1 error of dealers not making sure that SIM is unlocked if a device reports eligible. Now, what exactly does that check? For an Android phone, the BYOD compatibility checker will see if that is a compatible SKU for Boost. Is the device unlocked? It's more accurate for Apples than Androids, so you always want to contact the previous carrier if it is an Android device, because even though it may show eligible, you're going to make sure that device is not locked. For Androids, it's also going to let you know if that device is on the National Retail Blacklist. For Apple devices, what that checks is if that phone is a compatible SKU. If it is unlocked, again, that's not 100% accurate, so you want to use some supplemental checks if needed, but it'll also check if it is on the National Retail Blacklist. What does that tool not check? It does not necessarily check if that phone could be under a lease, so that is one important step to know as well. Now, so you've done your check that says eligible. The big thing we said, step 2, confirm if your device is unlocked. This is your SIM test, right? So you want to place a non-active SIM into the phone and turn on the device. You're going to get one of two things. Either read the SIM and display Boost Mobile, then you know it's eligible, or SIM error, invalid SIM card. If you get a SIM error or invalid SIM card, you will need to check with the current provider to get that device unlocked. On the slides here, which will be sent out to all of your DCI account managers, they can forward you the deck. The number for Sprint is listed, 888-266-7848. The number for Verizon is listed, 800-922-0204. The number for Cricket is listed, 800-274-2538. For AT&T devices, you have to go to www.att.com/device-unlocked. For Metro, it is a call-in as well, 888-863-8768. And for T-Mobile, 877-746-0909. Robert, I heard a lot of bings going on. I don't know if that's people joining or there's questions about this so far.
Those are new participants joining right now.
Okay, very good. Guys, just so you guys just joining right now, I thank you so much for hopping on. The deck, again, will be with your account managers. They can forward it to you if you missed the first part of the call. These calls do start pretty sharply at noon. I know your time is very valuable. We do them every week. Try to hop on at noon because I always try to get you out on time around 12:30 as well. The deck will be available to you. If you have any questions, just reach out to your account manager, and they can help cover anything that you may have missed already. Now, Robert, can I talk to you real quickly about a question we had last week where a customer was looking to port over, the tool said it was eligible, and the they couldn't get it working, and you gave some great feedback about using different SIMs. Can you shed some light on that?
Yeah, I think you're referring to the unlocking of the device, right? So what I think is happening here is that a lot of the end users don't know for sure if their phone was unlocked from the previous carrier. So as a best practice example, you should keep SIM cards in stock from those other carriers that you can use to test that device, right? So obviously you have Boost SIM cards in, right? And once you enter that into the phone, if you don't see Boost logo on the phone, you got to keep trying, right? So pop in another SIM card from a different carrier, and once you see a logo of that carrier, then you quickly identify that that phone belongs to that specific carrier. So that will give you a better understanding on what to do with that phone after that, right? So if you see a logo of a competitor's carrier like T-Mobile, then you really need to proceed with unlocking of that device and talking to an end user about how you should proceed with this. So our recommendation is that you guys keep in stock those individual SIM cards of these competitive carriers to help you identify where that phone came from.
Yeah, thanks, Robert. And to provide a little more flavor to that question, right? So the slide I have up now is where to unlock it. The exact question was, hey, I got a phone. It says it's eligible, but they don't know what carrier it's from. The phone's damaged, so they can't power it on and see it. So the customer has no idea, or not even damaged, they just don't know where that phone came from, right? So the customer came in, they wanted to do a port, they check it says it's eligible. They put the Boost SIM in, it says SIM error, invalid SIM card. But the customer has no clue where that phone came from. And so what Robert's saying is, as your customer base comes in, they're porting over from Sprint, Verizon, Cricket, AT&T, Metro, T-Mobile, see if you can hold on to one of those SIMs to use as testing. So if you run into that scenario where a customer says eligible, you go to the next step and you're getting an error, well, you don't know who to call to unlock the device because they don't know who that phone was with. If you have kind of those test SIMs, you can pop them in and figure out which carrier it was. Hopefully, excuse me. Hopefully that makes sense for you guys. But that was a question we had on our last week new hire call that we had an answer for, so wanted to share that with you. All right, so really quick, what are your guys' three biggest struggles with BYOD? We just want to gather information to see where the issues are and where we can help with. So this is an open-ended question for everyone on this call. If you're on mute, hit *6. But we'd like to get some feedback. What are you guys seeing as your biggest struggles currently? Andrew, go ahead.
I'm guessing the bring your own device. and comparing our current promo, you know. So it depends on the customer and their needs, because if they coming in with their own phone and trying to get a cheaper plan, but then they're unhappy with the service, I mean, is that, like, that's my question. Do you really want to do that, or put them on a promo with like a new phone and the unlimited plan?
Okay, so great question. So that comes to your qualifying questions that you're going to ask your customers. Are you unhappy with your current service or your current device? If they're unhappy with the current service, that's going to have nothing to do with that device. If they like the device but are unhappy with their current service, they're going to be on a totally different network. They're going to be on T-Mobile's network, so it's new towers. So that should answer that, is they're not going to have that bad service. They'll be on our great new network with the high speeds where you can do voice and LTE at the same time on the TN network. But yeah, that's a great qualifying question to ask, is what are you unhappy with? Is it your current device or the current service? If they're not happy with the current device, obviously not a BYOD opportunity. But if they're not happy with the current service, then that opens that window. Okay, maybe they like that phone. Keep that phone as a BYOD option. All right. Let's get a couple more. What other obstacles are you guys seeing when trying to do BYODs? Again, *6 to unmute if you are muted. You guys are being really quiet. What about anyone on the DCI field team? What are you guys seeing in your stores as objections?
I think, Adam, we see the struggle with unlocking devices, right? So the sales associates are just not fluent in the BYOD area, and the biggest challenges for them when it comes to having the phone to unlock it.
Okay, so the how to unlock devices. So that's kind of what we just talked about. That is one that I think we see as well. So that best practice that Robert just shared is getting a SIM from each. When you do have your BYOD, keep their old SIM to test it. So if they don't know how to see what device it's on, you can use that. But also, again, this deck, your DCI account manager will have, it has the numbers for all your carriers to reach out to do the device unlock. So if you get a device that's locked, you simply just reach out to their care to get that phone unlocked.
Hello.
Yep, go ahead.
I got a question. So, T-Mobile phones, we checked the IMEI. They said they good to go to be activated in the expanded network with Boost. But the thing is, with the T-Mobile phones, they finance some, like 90% of them they finance. After 2-3 months, T-Mobile they blacklist the phone. That was gonna block Boost Mobile network as well, because it's under T-Mobile network.
Yes. Yep. You're 100% right on that. So that was one of the things that would make that not eligible, and that's what that tool should catch. Majority of the time, the tool should catch it. If device has not been paid off, it should say no, it's not eligible. I know mine personally. I have a S9 Plus with Sprint that I was at a door and I wanted to run the tool to see is it eligible. But since I owed money, it's going to say not eligible. So T-Mobile locks it. Correct. That full price will have to be paid off before they use that device.
Actually, as we speak, and I'm checking a device right now from T-Mobile, it says eligible. And I asked the customer, she said she never finished the payment for it. So I guess the tool is not compatible with T-Mobile phones yet for some reason.
Yeah.
Compatible with Sprint, yes.
Yeah, it's supposed to be, right? So, but it's supposed to be what it says, not 100%. So in your case,
it's a great feedback. I think definitely we should take that to Boost and provide some explanation to there. Would you mind sharing that IMEI with us, Nick, after the call?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, just text it to your account manager with DCI, and we'll escalate that one.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, guys, thank you for your feedback on that. So those are some great answers, and those are things that we want to work on when we're talking to you on our weekly calls and during our visits as well. That's why your feedback is so important there to see what we need to help continue to coach to. So thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Okay, so the typical interaction, the typical pitch, right? A customer comes in, hey, good afternoon, welcome to DCI Wireless. How can I help you today? And the customer tells you, hey, I'm looking to switch over from Metro. What kind of promotions do you have going on? So how are you guys responding in the field to that today? What we don't want you doing is going right to free phones. We want to make sure you are really understanding what your customer is looking for. The understanding step is the beginning of your sales process around gathering information. If you think of it like a doctor-patient analogy, in order to prescribe a solution, you have to do your checkup first. So you need to talk about not only your physical examination of the phone, which you can see, but also that verbal examination to see the underlying symptoms of that phone. So verbally, I'm going to ask them, are you going to be porting in a number? How many lines are you going to be switching over? What plan are you on, right? So that's going to shape the plan I'm going on and how many lines I'm looking for. Do they have additional family members who need a phone as well? I'm going to ask open-ended questions. The most important one, what do you not like? Was it your current phone or your current provider? That's a very important one. How do you use your phone in your day-to-day life? And what do you like about the phone you have now? Those are going to be your verbal questions to really understand what your customer needs. You're not just slamming an item on them, but really qualifying them. Now, on top of that, we talked about asking to see that customer's phone to see what what offers are eligible for. You want to get that phone in your hand to really slow down that conversation, because getting that phone in your hand and by saying just want to see all the offers you're eligible for, boom, this is your easy way in to checking the IMEI and the device compatibility checker to see if that phone is available as a BYOD opportunity, to see if this conversation is worth having. You can also check the condition of the device. Is it damaged? How's the memory? Are there some accessory opportunities as well? So, run that scenario back. Love to have you. The customer comes in, they're looking to switch over to Boost. Great, we love to have you in the Boost family. Let me just ask you a few questions. What plan are you on with Metro now? How many lines are you looking to switch over? You mind giving me your phones if you so I can see all the great offers you qualify for? And are you switching over because of the service you had previously, or is it the device itself? So really easy questions. And then again, when that phone is in your hand, you're going to check the vitals, just like a doctor. Check the port and eligibility. You do the device compatibility check. You can also check the condition of the phone. If it's got a cracked screen, you can look at an upgrade opportunity. Again, they have to be eligible for 120 days to do an upgrade. That wouldn't be a port-in like the Metro scenario, but just in general. Look at that screen, see if it's an upgrade opportunity. Check the condition of the phone, see if they have like an old case, a new case, a screensaver, etc. And then what's really important, once you've got all those questions answered, you need to ask for the close. So by the time you're ready to close, you should have already confirmed that the customer likes the device, because we're talking BYOD. Do not pitch a phone to someone who said they hate it. Answer that question. Did you not like your previous service or previous device? If they didn't like the phone, don't be pitching BYOD to them. But if they just didn't like the service, then you want to tell them what they liked about the phone. You told me earlier you loved your iPhone 7, but you hated your service. Well, I can get you out the door for only whatever your bundle price is, let's say $134.99, and you want to spend a bunch of money on a phone. All your passwords, apps, your contacts won't have to be switched over. I'm just going to upgrade your service to our great new network. I'm going to give you your iPhone a brand new look with a case, a screen protector, new charging cables, and a speaker. So you're going to give them a fresh look and feel. So that's a benefit for you in the sales rep for your accessory commission. And I like to use the assumptive close. I can start getting everything set up for you while you pick out your new case and Bluetooth from our wall over here, right? Just assume you're going to be the expert, so they're going to want to go with the offers that you give them. Now, once you've made your pitch to them and they say that they are good with keeping the same phone, great. All I need is your account information with your current provider. I can get you started and then start your activation process. Now, if they said no after everything and they said they like the current device, they still say no, that's okay, right? Don't get afraid. Don't be afraid of a no. I completely understand. I'd be happy to find a phone that better fits your needs. What are you looking for in your new phone? Then qualify them for a different device. Now, even though they said no and you're getting them a different device, you can keep in the back of your mind that old phone they have could still be used as an add-a-line opportunity for as low as $10 a month. Easy to sell a customer out the door for as low as $10. Yes, we want to do 30 and 40 first, but as low as $10 per month, they could use that existing phone as an add-line. This is a huge opportunity I don't think we're hitting on nearly enough. Now, the activation process, of course, you want to do the check device compatibility under quick links. You click on the device compatibility check tool. It'll say BYOFD. The F in there just stands for foreign. So bring your own foreign device. You're going to verify that that phone is eligible to come over. You also want to click on the button next to it that says firmware compatibility. Re-enter that ESN just so it'll tell you if you have to do a firmware update before activating that phone. After you have confirmed that phone is available to switch over, you want to make sure it is unlocked. This is your SIM test. This is the #1 problem that we see in BYODs. The most frustration we see in the field is that reps are saying it's eligible, and they're not doing the SIM test for step 2. So you want to place that non-active SIM into the phone, turn it on, and see if that is eligible for boost or not. And then again, the numbers to confirm device unlocked is listed in this deck for Sprint, Verizon, Cricket, AT&T, Metro, and T-Mobile. After you confirm that that is eligible, you're going to activate in the portal with the TN SIM, turn the device off, process the activation in the sales portal. Once it's activated in the portal, you're going to enter that new TN SIM and power the device on. Another big mix for Android phones is updating the APN settings. Very important. In the top of their phone, you're selecting settings, going to connections, mobile networks, APN stands for access point names, and then add the correct APN for our network. Again, this is Androids only, but a lot of times we're seeing dealers not updating the APN. So make sure you do that. When you go in there, you're going to turn APN enabled to on. All right, the name is going to show boost. The APN will show boost.data. Again, this slide is in here, exactly the steps to update the APN. But the big thing for you guys are going to do is just hit the switch to turn APN on or off. You want to make sure it is on. All right. Again, common mistakes is not verifying the firmware update. Want to make sure your device has the current firmware. Do not put the orange SIM in until you confirm all firmware is up to date. Second big error is not following the Android APN settings and carrier bundle for the iPhones. So for Android, follow all the steps to make sure the APN settings are updated. For the iPhone, the carrier should automatically pop up with carrier settings update message. It should happen as soon as you put that orange SIM in and turn the phone on. The download usually takes less than a minute. If the carrier bundle does not deploy, the phone will not activate. Again, this is on iPhones. Check and double check the carrier bundle is deployed in settings, general about carrier boost mobile. So, I mean, they're pretty quick, easy troubleshooting steps, but we want to make sure that you guys are doing that. All right. And there is a section of device doctor. If you get some common errors based on the customer's phone number, in the sales portal, you can click on manage. You'll see device doctor tool where you can put the customer's phone number in and see if there are any troubleshooting steps available for you on the sales portal as well. All right, moving forward. So there are some new BYOD devices that got added October 1st. I'll kind of just fly through these. These are all end of life for you guys to sell. They are not eligible. So I don't think you guys should have any of these on your shelves. But if a customer has one in the drawer or has an old phone, just know it is eligible for BYOD. And that goes for the Alcatel Dawn, the Go Flip, the Alcatel One Touch Conquest, iPhone 5S, HTC Bolt, Hydro Reach, the LG K3, Stylo 2, Stylo 3, Tribute 5, Tribute HD, V20, X Charge, X Power. And for your Motorola lines, you have the E4 and the E4 Plus. In your Samsung lines, newly eligible is the J3, the J3 Emerge, J7, J7 Refine, and S7 and Prevail LTE. And then on your ZTE lines, our new phones as of October 1st are the Blade Force, Max XL, Max Plus, Prestige, Prestige 2, Tempo X, and Warp 7. There is a FAQ document located for you guys on the sales portal under BYOD quick links. So if you have any questions or need some more resources, those are available for you there. For your Metro phones, you may notice if you have a Metro phone and you need help with unlocking, there's a folder called Metro by T-Mobile. Under that, you'll see Network Unlock. Under Network Unlock, you'll see Permanent Unlock. If it's successful, a reboot of the phone, reboot the phone and proceed with the TN activation. So again, this is for Metro unlocking only, right? Best practice that was just recently shared with us. Metro phone, you'll see an app called Metro by T-Mobile. Under that, you'll see Network Unlock. Click on it, click on Permanent Unlock, and then you can reboot the phone and succeed with your TN activation. All right, I think we've already talked about kind of the lock-in policy with the Boost. Boost Mobile does not lock any device which is activated as BYOD. For Apple devices sourced from a retailer like Best Buy or Amazon, the device will require a call to Apple to unlock the device from Boost Mobile. Apple locks the device to the first carrier they're activated on, and a call to Apple is required. Again, for any Best Buy or Amazon for those iPhone devices. All right. Before I get into our quiz questions, I know I'm a little bit over. I just have a couple quiz questions for some prizes. Are there any questions on BYOD before we get to the prize time? And if you're muted again, *6 to unmute your lines. All right, so no questions. Our first prize will be the Armin Retro Bluetooth speaker. So this is pretty cool. It looks like a tiny music player, which is actually a Bluetooth speaker for your phones. This will be for whoever can answer this question first. What is the WIFM? Who can tell me what WIFM stands for and what customers for a BYOD as well as frontline sales reps for a BYOD, what is their WIFM? Looking for a frontline WIFM and a customer WIFM for BYOD.
Looks like we have an answer from Tamir.
Okay, go ahead. Tamir?
What's in it for me?
That is what it stands for. Yep. And then, was that Tamir?
Tamir was in your in the chat.
Okay. Thomas, can you read that answer?
What in it for me?
Okay, that's true. Now, but the question is, who can give a WIFM for the an employee and a WIFM for the customer? What's in it for an employee selling a BYOD? What's in it for a customer to get a BYOD?
Okay, you got Mirka is on there. She said, what's in it for me? Customer is the benefit to keep their phone if they really like their own device.
Okay, that's half the answer. What about for the front line?
And then she said for an employee, the percentage can increase for BYOD.
Okay, we'll take it. We'll take it. Go ahead and put your info, your address to send the prize to in the text box. Yeah. So the what's in it for the customer? They can keep their own phone. That's correct. And all their apps is in one place. Don't have to re-download it. Don't have to reload their emails. Everything will be right there. What's in it for the frontline sales rep? It's a quicker, easier sale to get them over. It will improve your sales as well. And you're going to drive that number up. There are some increased opportunities as well that we're not really getting into on this call, but yeah, okay, that good answer. So we will take that. So thank you so much for your answer there. Go ahead and put your information in the text box, and Thomas, if you can get that over to me, and we'll send that out.
Roger that.
All right, one last question. This is for grill set. Look at the top one there. It's for the grill set. It's got a grill set coming in for you guys with a bag. You got your hot plate, your cutting board, your knife, your spatula, and your tongs. So this question is, what is the expectation for your door to hit in terms of BYOD for new activations, and how will you hit that goal? What's your goal for BYOD new activations, and how will you hit that goal? *6 to unmute if you're muted. This one's a layup.
All right, there's a couple answers on here already, but I think I see Tamir answered 75%, Brenda 75%, Shelly 75%. Brenda answered, do bring your own foreign device check with each port. So she answered 75% and do the BYOFD check with each port.
Okay, so the question was not the tool usage. That is all you guys are correct. The tool usage, 75%. The exact question is, what is your goal for actual sales? BYOD sales. Okay,
Adriana answered 20% BYOD sales, checking eligibility with every porting.
Okay, Adriana, I will give it to you. That the goal is going to be 20%, and that's higher than 10%. 10% is what's required. 20% is the end of the year goal, so I love that you even went higher. We will take that. So Adriana, congratulations. Send your information in, and we will send you that grill set. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hopping on this call. We appreciate your time. I apologize. This one went a little late. I do always keep them in 30 minutes. But this is a really important metric for Boost. Want to make sure we had everything covered. Before we close it out, are there any last questions or concerns around BYOD?
I just want to add that both of the winners today are from Fadi's PBR stores. So thank you, ladies, for participating and knowing your stuff.
Congratulations, and everyone who joins a winner in my book. So thank you guys all. We'll talk to you next week. Have a great one.